Oh, tell it on the mountain, Jesus Christ is born.
You may be seated. And I'd like to ask the Purposeful Giving panel to come forward. This is our last Sunday of December. It's the final Sunday of this year, and we are still in the month of life. That faculty, that power that's one with us, that is that indicator of our motivation, our activity, and manifesting anything we desire. Today's talk is Purposeful Giving, and I launched this idea of Purposeful Giving last year, and we're doing it again. But this time, we're doing our Purposeful Giving calendar year, January to December. And it's a way of planned giving, and I'm going to use what I've written about it to be the foundation of how we're going to share about it. I start with purposeful giving is one of the most powerful spiritual practices, one that places us in trust of God's continual flow of good. God's flow is always good. God's flow is always with us. What we need to do is place our trust in God, our identity in God. And the activity of giving is a universal law. What we give comes back to us in so many ways. It's a circulation. And as we adopt circulation and a practice of giving, our lives are renewed and made stronger. And one way that we can do this is in celebration, by looking back and acknowledging some of the things that we have accomplished together. There is much that we've done, and those have been dreams that we've manifested, people that we have supported, the work that we've accomplished, and what we have created. And so I'm calling upon my panel, first, Sandy Keiser, board president, to share some of those celebrations.
Thank you, Gary. Well, your board of trustees had a lot to celebrate this past year. The first thing that we enjoyed celebrating was getting to know our joyous and loving new senior pastor, Reverend Gary. So it's been great this last year getting to know you. So the second thing that our board decided would be something that we need to do is establish a prudent reserve for any emergencies that might come up. And y'all have done a great job with this. Currently, we have $6,063.48 in our prudent reserve. So give yourself a hand, because that's really good in a short time. And our last celebration was our 21st anniversary gala event. We had 6 teams come together and work together to put on one of the most wonderful galas, our very first this year. And with that gala, we had a profit of $6,779.09. So we feel that it was just a very good year. So thank you.
And from Ron Brietzke, our music director.
Okay, I got 3 things out of many that that were part of the music team that made a difference for us. One is this wonderful platform, which raised us up so y'all could see us up here. Another is we mounted the speakers so they were up out of our way and could provide better sound for you. And another is how our Unity singers stepped up and filled positions on instruments that they weren't really, all that majorly accomplished in, so we could keep our style and quality of music up. Thank you.
And now Leslie Woods, Youth and Family Director and Office Administrator.
It's a joy to work with the kids and to work in the office to help support this ministry. And some of the things that we've done is we acquired Breeze Church Management System, which helps me tremendously with the YFM, the Youth and Family Ministry, but it also will be incorporated in many of the different areas of ministry where we can have ways to communicate with our teams, ways to contract, to keep contributions intact, and so on. So we'll expand that as we grow. Another wonderful celebration is the fact that we have 63 youth and children and their families that we minister to, and we are growing every week. And so that is awesome. I enjoy my time with them so much. And we have a growing YOU program that is building great leaders. These kids go to rally throughout the year. They go 4 times last year. And these rallies help the kids become leaders. In fact, one of our youth was the regional officer last year, Quentin. And so these rallies that they go to help them throughout the rest of their lives because it brings forth ways to lead in adulthood, and they are doing a fabulous job at that while they're at college. Thank you.
And Owen Howson, Media Director.
I'm the volunteer media director. We've had a very exciting year, and I've had a lot of fun. We created a powerful media production team. When we arrived, people in the back of the chapel couldn't hear well, so we added side speakers and an amplifier. The computer wasn't up to live streaming, so we rebuilt it with a number of new components. We repurposed a camera for precise manual control, adding monitors and converters. We upgraded the Wirecast program for live streaming. We installed 1,500 watts of LED stage lights for good live stream video. We added several microphone systems. We installed a 65-inch monitor and sound bar in the Gratitude and Prosperity Room for classes and events. And we installed a new Wi-Fi system to extend fast Wi-Fi to the entire campus. All of these items were donated by Gary and myself. We've been live streaming our services to the world since May with up to 85 viewers each Sunday. All our talks and some music is posted on YouTube. We have 274 videos posted so far with over 5,000 views and 126 subscribers. It has been an amazing year.
And Linda Gillespie, Licensed Union Teacher, Pastoral and Education Associate.
Oh boy, do I have lots to tell you about as far as celebration, things that were accomplished in this last year. In June, Gary and I went to Unity Village and participated in Spirit Group Summit and walked away from there firmly convinced that this is something that we want to incorporate into this ministry. And you'll be hearing a whole lot more about it in the next few weeks. There were 12 people in the pilot program for that particular program, and 8 have agreed to host groups in their homes. So stay tuned. There's more to come. We had 10 SEE classes, that's Spiritual Enrichment and Education. This last year, 3 people are on the LUT path, 1 on the ministerial path, and one of those graduates that Leslie just mentioned is very interested in becoming an LUT, and she's still in college. So we're doing good work. Leslie Woods completed her classwork for her Certified Spiritual Education certification. Her coursework is done, with the exception of one paper. And the Prayer Chaplain program hosted their, what is it called?
Retreat?
Yep.
Training?
That retreat in March. And we inducted 6 prayer chaplains, and that, from my perspective, along with the Fall Women's Retreat, we hosted 21 women, all of which were not regular attendees, and it was phenomenal. Done lots of women's retreats, and this one was above and beyond. And the wise women continue to meet on a monthly basis, as well as the men in unity.
Thank you, Linda. This and much more. When you came in, hopefully you received the Purposeful Giving brochure, and within it is a more comprehensive list of the things that we celebrate, that we truly have done much this past year, and what a blessing that is. And when we can center ourselves in what have we accomplished, it's easier for us to be then ready for, what do I want? When contributing to our spiritual community becomes part of our overall financial plan, rather than an afterthought, we know we are part of something bigger than ourselves. So when we identify that we are part of a vibrant community that's done and is doing great work, we can actually see how we can be more a part of that, but how we plan into it. And a good way to do that is look at what do we see right now would be things we would want to accomplish in 2020. These exciting developments and visions include growing our youth ministry, deeper impact with the larger community, this region, small group ministries to foster connection, that's the spirit groups, and a complete restoration and repair of all maintenance or deferred maintenance issues. Again, Sandy Keiser, Board President.
So our Board of Trustees has spent the last several meetings discussing our vision for next year. And like anyone knows, your home after a certain time needs to have repairs made. Well, our church has reached that stage, and we have needed repairs on our roof. We have our foundation that needs repairs, our drainage needs to be addressed, and our driveway needs to be repaved and restriped. So we're hoping to accomplish that next year. We realize that these are major, major repairs. So the board voted to approach several financial institutions and speak with them about refinancing our church loan. So you will be hearing more about this as we get more information, and then we will ask you to vote on this vision. So our next vision is to continue to grow our prudent reserve. So, and the last is we are currently looking at outside ways to grow our income. So the board will be meeting to discuss ideas, and we'll be bringing those to you also. But we'd like to hear from you. If you have any ideas on how to grow an income from outside sources, we would love to hear from you. But be aware, any of your ideas may get you on a committee. So we may ask you to work, but don't let that stop you. We need everyone's ideas. Thank you.
And Ron Brietzke, music director.
Some things that would be either needed and are useful for the music team are a new bass amp, a new keyboard amp, and a soundboard. Thanks.
Thank you, Ron. Leslie Woods, Youth and Family Director and Office Administrator.
Working with the kids and how we are growing so fast, there are some things that we are going to need to do to accommodate for the growth. One of the things that we want to do is be able to split the kids into age groups a little more developmentally appropriate together. And our nearest, fastest need right now is in the nursery. We had last week, I believe, 3 infants that could have been in that space, as well as we have 3 and 4-year-olds. And so if we are able to divide that space, the 3 and 4-year-olds can get the developmental needs that they have, and the infants can get the developmental needs they have and be spiritually nurtured at the same time in both spaces. And we'll eventually want to add partitions to each of the rooms, because as we grow, we're going to need to accommodate that as well. And one of the other things that we'll need to do is to increase the youth and family ministry director hours. Right now, I put 12 hours on the clock. To that, I can tell you that I usually spend more time than that doing that. So some of the things that I want to do with that time is to write more curriculum. We went all the way through Diane Vanzera's wonderful curriculum, and our kids are so smart that they know that they've done this one last year. They know. So I've been writing curriculum for them, and they're loving what I'm doing and what I'm writing, so I'd like to expand that and do more. And some of the other areas that we want to grow and do more things is to have more family events or more outreach events. With my new certification that I'll be getting, I'll be able to lead parenting workshops and things like that, so we can outreach to the community and ask them to come in and join in our wonderful energy here.
Beautiful. Owen Howson, Media Director.
This year we want to expand our media team. Why should we have all the fun? We want to expand our live stream to Facebook as well as YouTube and allow two-way communication with our viewers. We want to interview more of our congregants on video for our website so people searching for a spiritual home can see who we are. And we need to purchase a remote camera to replace one of our cameras that's failing. We have a really exciting year coming up.
Linda Gillespie, Pastoral and Education Associate.
One of the main things that we're really excited about is the creation of the spirit groups, the small group ministry that will be, as I've said before, up and coming in the next few weeks. With increased SEE class visibility, availability, more of those classes can be utilized using the spirit group protocol. And the prayer chaplain training will be in March, the 20th through the 22nd. And I would just ask each of you to prayerfully consider becoming a part of that team. It is one of the greatest gifts I have ever given myself, to move into that role. And it adds, as we add the number of prayer chaplains, it's a better way to serve the community more effectively, and we're really, really looking forward to that, as well as a spring women's retreat and continued support of the wise women and the men in unity.
Thank you, Linda. I love what our leaders have passion about to guide us as we continue to grow and expand and create. It's really very beautiful. And back to my writing here, stating the amount and the frequency of our purposeful giving in advance and honoring our commitment throughout the year instills spiritual integrity that has profound effects in every dimension of our lives. That's why this is a spiritual practice. When we step into the knowing that we're one with God, that we're one with a community that is manifesting and creating what's of value to me, to us, then that's our reason for planning our giving for this community. I know that in my life, I purposely give whatever I want. When I go to HEB, the checker says, this is the amount, I just pay it. When I pay my rent, when I buy my car, when I go see a movie I want to see, I am giving to whatever it is I desire. And that's what I'm asking you to do, to purposely give to what's of value to you. So if this community, what the board, what the music team, what youth and family ministry, what the media team, and what education pastoral interests are for this church, then this is what helps us grow and stabilize. So this Purposeful Giving brochure has in it a commitment card, and I'm asking you to prayerfully consider that and bring the card back in a month on January 26th, the last Sunday in January, and we'll have a celebration for the Purposeful Giving commitments. But let this be part of our journey, and I'd like to ask our Purposeful Giving panel to return to their seats, or Owen, if you want to get back there and help the team do what they're doing, then we'll bring this talk to a close, but not this idea to a close. For this is our journey as true students finding our way to capitalize on what it is we desire. So let's take this moment now, settling in, and if we're comfortable, to close the outer eyes and to come into meditation as Ron guides us there in song. As we breathe easy, we set down everything before this moment and come present to be here now. As we turn within and awaken to the divine light within, we rest. We call forth peace. There's nothing we need do but be. And as we drink in this moment, we rest in peace. And now come into oneness with the divine in the silence. We are so grateful for our ever-increasing awareness of our oneness with God, with that Christ light. We are awakening to that light. And we also know any time in our life we can breathe, relax, and drop into a moment of peace and connecting with divine love. So let's take from this moment whatever we've received. And breathing easily, we bring our attention back into this room. We might wiggle our fingers or wiggle our toes, roll our head or shoulders, and when we're ready, we open our eyes and we'll say this affirmation that goes along with today's message. Together, I know that God is my ultimate source for all things, and so it is.
Step out on the water, release your faith. Every step is stronger. Step out on the water.